Cool. I'm gonna dump this stuff because I have to smell like fish.
Peace. What's up? What's up? Hey, Leroy Thompson. What's going on, man? Good seeing you the other day out in the world. Peace to everybody. Peace to everybody joining us right now. My name is Imaad. This is ImRealDvs. The beautiful young thing coming in the back is my co-host. This is Just Joy.
Good evening. Good evening.
What's going on, everybody? We thank you for joining us. Much love to Gyroscope Radio. Shout out to Tanya Champagne. Big up to the North Technology Center, which is where we are right now at 400 Hawthorne Avenue in North New Jersey. If you do not know about this facility, get your life together. They right now there's a meeting going on actually outside those doors where they are talking about energy and conservation for the city of Newark and the state of New Jersey in general. They're talking about the rising costs, what you can do to lower your costs and things of that nature. There are people, representatives from PSC&G, there are representatives from community-based organizations.
There are citizens from the city of Newark
absolutely
also present.
Churches, everybody is here. You're not here. So,
and also, our brother, celebrity chef, Pastor Amir Natson is here.
Yeah.
So if you're not here,
and the food was delicious.
That's what I was going to say. So if you're not here for the noblest of causes, to be proactive about the energy crisis, for your people who freaked out about the Newark water crisis, this is an excellent initiative to get ahead of the energy crisis that is foreseen. The food, though, amazing.
Listen.
So you still have some time. From what I understand, they'll be here until 8 p.m., probably a little bit later. And I'll give you a heads up. There was still some food. They had a couple trays of new stuff coming out. I don't want to say the eggplant parmesan. I don't want to get into the garlic tilapia. All I'm saying is Newark is trying to get ahead of the energy crisis that is affecting so many citizens in terms of cost and efficiency of delivery. So if you can make it down to the Tech Center, 400 Hawthorne Avenue, you can come and be a part of that here at the Tech Center while we continue to broadcast.
Hey, to Van, wait, what's up, Van and Vincentor Jones? What's going on? That is a magnificent name. I've never seen that name before, but I like that. So peace once again to everybody joining us. If you have a minute right now, please share the video.
Like and share, please.
Like, comment, and share. And if you are here right now, when you got a little time, go ahead and sit back and relax because this is going to be worth the time that you are here right now. I need to tell y'all a story. First of all, today's topic, we're going to be talking to, if you know a single mother, if you are a single mother, if your mother was a single mother, or your sister is a single mother, your cousin is a single mother, or you got a girlfriend at work that's a single mother, or anybody that you know that's a single mother.
Or you made somebody a single mother.
I was going to say that.
But I'll leave it to me. You don't have to
That's
leave
why
it
you
to
here.
me.
Because I need somebody who's
Just
here for that.
media in the building.
Word.
If you created a situation, intentional or otherwise, where a single parent or a single-led mother home is intact, then yeah, this is for you today as well.
Yeah. There's been a lot going on that has brought me to this conversation for Joy as well. I didn't have this particular topic, but it serves for the things that were circling around in my head anyway.
Right.
For those of you who didn't get to see the show last week, I dedicated last week's show to a friend of mine who passed away. Yesterday was his funeral. 29-year-old young man by the name of Kendall Cook. Kendall Cook was an airline steward for American Airlines. That is my dude. That's my dude. He lights up my life even right now. But you know, yesterday, like I said, we buried him. I continue to keep his mother in my best thoughts because he was an only child. And you know how I had a movie moment yesterday at the funeral because there's a couple of things that I just don't do. First of all, I don't touch dead people.
I don't believe I've done it.
About that.
I don't believe I've done it.
But yesterday, like I had this thing he had the softest hair. Like he had like really curly hair. And yesterday I just found myself like, and I couldn't move from the casket. I was a little bit stuck for a minute. I didn't know what to do. And I've never fainted in my entire life, but I felt myself like I was about to faint. So I had to go sit down. And then this young lady got up there because my friend he was very ill. He had cancer. And toward the end, when he was very, very ill, he was in hospice care. And one of the young ladies who took care of him was at the services yesterday. And she told, this is the part that made me leave. Because I had to go.
This is the part that's taking me out right
now.
Because,
you know, I know a lot of people who have lost children, some to gun violence, some to sickness, for whatever the reason. It doesn't matter how you lost a child. Losing a child is losing a child. There's a sound that a mother makes when she has lost a child, and I've heard that sound way too many times in my short lifetime for anybody to have heard it. I don't believe that I should have heard this many times. But what the young lady said, and this was on my friend's mind, these were some of his last thoughts. The lady, apparently she was a religious woman, and she kept asking him every time she would see him, do you want me to pray with you? And he was like, nah. No, because he had made his peace with whatever he had going on with him. He was good with that. And I think the lady was a Christian. He was a Muslim. I don't know if that had something to do with it. Maybe not.
You know that,
but it could have been not. You know, I don't know what was going through his head. Could have been not. But at this point, and like a few days before he passed, this woman told the story, and she said that she asked him the same question: Did he want her to pray with him? And he said, no, or whatever. But she asked him what was on his mind, and what he said to her was, I'm worried about my mom because I'm all she's got. And that was when his mother did that wail. And that's about the time that I had to go. Because I did shed tears for my friend because I am going to miss him. He's a wonderful human being and the planet will not be the same without him. But my tears were mostly for his mother. I can't imagine that. And I've had friends who lost kids. Most of them had other kids. And this is the thing. For anybody who's lost a child, if you have other children, you already know what I'm about to say. When you lose a child and you have other kids, the other kids don't matter. And it's not that they don't matter, but that feeling, the only thing that matters, and this is what a couple of friends of mine who've lost kids and fortunately have other kids, have said the same thing. The other kids weren't on my mind. I'm worried about the kid that I lost. Like that, it wasn't that the other kids didn't matter or they didn't love them or anything like that. There's none of that. And anybody who out there can attest to that same thing. It's not that. Your heart, a piece of your heart has died.
And even so far as to take it to a higher level, which we like to do here, what you're saying is so real because we don't only see it in the human species. We see it in the animal kingdom. Mm-hmm. We see it. This is taking me to, in the evenings, my mom and I and my son, we watch Serengeti. And it's about how it's really going down in Africa. Lupita Nyong'o is the narrator. And when a baby hyena, let's say,
Mama is in the room,
is running around and succumbs to the circle of life, there could be 7 other ones in the pride. Mm-hmm. But like you said, that first of all, that whale is also something that
in the animal kingdom.
Okay, mm-hmm. That hyena mom, and we watch this, myself and my hyena mom. We see she got 7 of them. They over there, but she's still nudging at that one and wailing over that one. You have to, and it's like you said, it's in us, but it's so much deeper than that.
It really is. So him and his mother had come, everybody, as you grow up, you start smelling yourself. You start telling your parents that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You can't tell me what to do. And, your relationship changes as you get older with your parents because you become an adult and your parent was already an adult. So it's really you that's changing. Your parents may change from other things in their lives, but they aren't transitioning into adulthood like you are, like that child is. So their relationship changed and they became best friends. They became the best of friends. Like every time I was in his presence, I can't remember a time when I was in his presence where his mother didn't call if she wasn't available, like already in the room. If she wasn't already in the room sitting there, she called, or she just sent him a message or a text, or she was just checking to see did he eat today, or whatever. And that's how their relationship had gotten. because they did the work after a while. And this is the part that I want to get to. And this isn't, an accusation, because like I said, they had done their thing as far as mother and son. As far as whatever issues they had in their relationship, he was still like, my mother's getting on my nerves. And I remember there was one time she called me 2 o'clock in the morning. His mama called me. It was like, I just need to vent. He is getting on my nerves. Like, he is not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not and she's going off for like a whole hour. It's 0:30. I'm tired in the mug, but I'm listening. Yeah. That's my friend's mother. What I didn't know at the time was I'm older than his mother. That's what I didn't know at the time. And that's part of my hurt for her. Like, I know that I've lived a full life. I think I have anyway. Some people may agree or disagree. It ain't your life, it's mine. So I can't imagine to live up to this point and nurture someone. Let's be real specific. To nurture someone, to bring them into this world, to nurture them, to bring them through everything it is that they have to endure, whether you like it or not. Because y'all don't like, every mom ain't gonna like every decision that their kid make. Of course not, because they're different people.
Let me just interject, as we say, peace to Sunshine. Sunshine Joy, hey, that's my sis. How you doing?
That's actually my little sister.
I love little sisters.
Hey.
Cassandra, peace. Thanks for tuning in. I want to shout out as many people as possible. Kendra Adams, hey, Fred Maldonado, peace. Thanks for coming.
Jaguars, baby.
All right, Jaguars. There's parts about motherhood, period, that you will not like. And that's okay. And part of what I want to talk about tonight is just the parts that are ugly, the parts that don't feel good, the parts that we hide from people, the parts that we try to hide from ourselves as mothers, single or otherwise, that we need to talk about, because it's going to help somebody.
It is.
It's going to save somebody's life.
And like I said in the title of the post, we hear you. That's what we are.
I am you.
This is you.
I am you. And there are so many of us who reach out to me personally and otherwise. I have a sis, our sis Iris, who's working on some programming, some content to address just the things that we go through as mothers. Traumatic. Some of them are traumatic. I had a story that was traumatic for me, and it only involved 6 days of having my son in a row. I wasn't used to it. I lost it. But that's my little Disney story. And as light as it might sound, it felt heavy at the time. Yeah. And for some people, some women, it's too heavy. And I know someone who, and I'm not attributing, this topic to her death, but in my spirit, they're connected. I know someone who took her life. And I don't know if it was because she didn't have an outlet or there was an issue, whether it was child related or not, but whatever it was, I feel like there was something that could have been done or a way that we could have reached out or people could have assisted, because too many mothers go through too many things on their own, and we don't have to. So shout out to Iris, Empress Light, and all the things that she'll be working on, will be working on moving forward. But I want to particularly invite any of the people, everybody.
I apologize. I misunderstood which Iris you was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay.
I apologize. It all makes sense now. Okay, thank you.
See, because you was giving me the crazy look, like, okay, sis.
I was like, what?
And I'm like, nah, but sis. So
okay, but anyway. Absolutely.
So I just want to talk about some stuff, be it light or heavy. I want to say call in. Is that too much to ask? Yeah, so let me research that on my phone. Maybe we'll take a short break. But anyway, you can post. You can text either one of us if you have something that you want to say or comment. If not, I'm just gonna say what?
Throw it in the room.
No, you not. Okay, so we're gonna get to that part, but we want to focus on just being a little more vocal and honest about some of the things that are going on, because we want to help people. I want to help people.
And we're also going to set up an email address for this show. It'll be just ImRealDvs or something in a second. So give me a second. And shout out to a young lady who is a woman who is assisting me. Shout out to Ebony. She should be in the chat room somewhere doing her moderator thing.
Yeah, you should be in the chat room.
Shout out to April Bullock, Kenneth Grant, Curtis Copples, my dude. April says, I have 2 children from 2 different generations, 25 and 10. It's challenging and rewarding. I can't imagine what that's like. And that's something that a conversation that needs to be had, because you're not the only one. I have a couple of friends and my sisters who have children of, varying ages from, adult to still in elementary school. And what role should the kids play in the family? But if they should in raising the kids, there's a whole conversation. But before we get to that, there's something that I want to piggyback off of what Joy said a moment ago about being able to talk to other people, to not have the burden on just you, because that's a very real thing. Now, growing up, it was always my sentiment. If you had a kid, you was responsible for the kid. And pretty much that's true. But everybody needs a break from everything. Think about it. You only work 8 to 12 hours a day, maybe, and you go home and you tired. And you just want to, and I'm talking to the people who don't have kids. I'm not talking to them because the single parents, because y'all already know what the heck I'm about to say. You already. So you work 8 hours, you come home, you tired, you want to put all that behind you. Imagine working 8 hours and then coming home and do the other 16. Because it's a job, depending on what your kids have or what needs they have. If they're special needs, I have kids who have friends, babies, children who are autistic, who have developmental disabilities, who have developmental challenges, who have a variety of different things, and every child don't learn the same way. We all know this.
And to the extreme point of that, if you have a child that has special needs, for parents like myself and people in my generation, the young ladies I grew up with, our children have special needs, but not of the typical variety. We're raising such strong, smart, intelligent kids. The special needs for our kids include soccer practice, tennis, and karate, and all type of special activities that we're putting our kids, taking them to the museum.
Which is another job in itself.
Because we I like my shirt. This was a gift to me. We know we are raising kings, and we know we have to pour so much into these. That's a special need.
Now, I'm going to interject something because you just said something, and it was a conversation I had earlier. Complete sidebar, we'll get back to what you're saying. 2 seconds.
That was it.
A lot of times people say king, and if somebody said to me today, no, I'm a god.
Okay.
Everything that I speak, I'm going to bring into existence. That's godlike.
I like that.
You could be a king. She's like, yeah, you could be a king or a queen. That's cute. But she said, I'm a goddess.
I love it.
She said, I'm a goddess. Because what I speak, I'm going to bring into existence. Abracadabra. Look it up. But anyway, hey, Eddie. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Tamara Rough Rider. What's going on, Gary Henley? Wanda Stillwaters. Kenny Grant Sr. What's up, everybody? Jay Smith, Dorothy Irvington. That's my other mama. And she also lost it. She lost a daughter.
Mercy.
Listen, it's real. But the other end of that, another story that I have from when I was in college. A young woman that I went to school with, who shall remain nameless, obviously, she was a heavyset young woman in college. So she started gaining some weight. Nobody thought anything. The freshman 15 is real, particularly when you are on campus.
Especially if you're at an HBCU.
Lord! And I was at the oldest black college in the state of Alabama at the time. For real, early. Talladega College. Tornadoes, we tear shit up. But anyway, so
I love it.
I'm gonna get to you in 1 second, Angie. April. It's both. Yeah, I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. So a friend of mine, like I said, she was a heavyset young woman. She started gaining a little weight. Nobody paid any attention. I don't even think it passed through anybody's mind like she's gaining weight. Like, you still pick up a few pounds. Yeah, it is what it is. You just keep on about shit. We got finals.
She's thicker than this nigga.
Okay. So, at any rate, one day she was in her room. She got very sick. She said she was in pain. Her roommate didn't know what to do. They called the ambulance. She said she had a yeast infection. On the whole way to the ambulance, she wouldn't let anybody ride with her she didn't want anybody to ride with her to the hospital. Apparently, she knew what her condition was. She was pregnant. She couldn't tell anybody. She didn't want to, for whatever reason. But for 9 months, she didn't tell a soul. When my friend called, another friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, called me and she says, such and such just had a baby. No, she didn't. I went by the door and they said that she went to the hospital for a yeast infection. What are you talking about? No, she had a baby. That's not possible. Like she didn't. No. I already went to the hospital. I was there. I saw the thing that came out her body. Yeah, that was a baby. I'm familiar with those. She had a baby. And all I could do, I felt so horrible as a friend.
Because she couldn't
come and tell me. And not like we had a nice circle of friends. They called us the Breakfast Club because we was thicker. Like
that's where you was getting the 15 from.
It was happening.
Grits, I know that's right. They're gonna give you grits.
There's some other stuff.
Shout out to Virginia State University. We the Mighty Trojans. I know all about them more than breakfast.
That's how I got to the finals. But it hurt me that she couldn't tell anybody. It hurt me that she couldn't tell. Even if you ain't got to tell me. I understand. I'm a dude. What's happening with you, I have no concept of. I can't identify on any level.
As long as it ain't yours.
None. And that's for damn sure. So I didn't know how to process the fact that we were in now let me set the broader stage for you in how there should have been somebody that she could have come to. For what I don't know, and because she and I never had the conversation as to why you couldn't tell anybody. But I went to the oldest black college in the state of Alabama. It's in Talladega, Alabama. If you've seen Talladega Nights or you've heard of the Talladega Forest, that's where it is. But the town of Talladega and the county of Talladega, anybody who lives in Atlanta knows, or Baltimore, you live out in the county. That's a whole different thing from living in the city. Up here where we live, we don't really get into that county situation. Nobody goes where I live, and that's just county unless you're filling out paperwork. That's the only time you really need to identify something like that. But out in the county encompassed like the raceway and the forest. But the little town of Talladega was a white town with a small black school right in the center of it. And we weren't really welcome. The town didn't really mesh well with the college that I went to. And that's the nicest way that I can put it. There was always tension. And we were warned when we came to school not to be in town by ourselves. Don't, stray too far because for whatever reason. I don't know what they thought they was happening. In my head, I'm from North. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, there ain't nothing gonna happen to me that I ain't seen happen the whole, you know what I mean? But that was the mentality when I got there. So you have this small black school in the middle of a white town, and we're forced into community because the town doesn't embrace us. So we can't go out and be a part of the city of Talladega or the town because it's a town setting, but it was actually a city. There was no public bus. Cabs stopped running at 8:00 p.m. Really, it was a situation. Like coming from up here, I didn't know what to do after 8 p.m. with myself. Like, what? So we're all forced into community, and we got to know each other. You have to do that. You have to do that, or you're going to be
shit out of luck.
You're going to have anxiety and depression and all the rest of that other hot shit sitting at school trying to be off by yourself while everybody else is, in the midst of their camaraderie. So the fact that we were forced into community, and in the midst of that community, we had formed our own community of friends. And within that community, she couldn't find anybody to talk to. I say all that to say I worked for the county of Essex for 15 years. And one of the things that I heard most often from women was there's nobody that I can trust. Mm-hmm. Now, at this age, the people in my life, who you can trust. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. You weren't paying attention.
Even if there aren't as many as you think there should be,
if it's one,
if it's half of one every couple of times, because I'm a firm believer in letting people specialize in who they are.
Right.
You might not be able to trust everybody 100% with everything.
You can't.
I have some people I trust with my son that I won't trust with other things, or that I'll trust other things with and not my son.
Right.
So, you have to kind of be selective if you can. And at the end of the day, just one is enough. Hopefully.
And that's it. And if you got that one, you are doing really, really well. You're doing really, really well. And the fact that this woman didn't have anybody to turn to bothered me so severely. It bothered me so severely. Like, how do you come up in this? And here's the other part. This was the other part. And you know what? This happened 25 years ago, pretty much. And I haven't thought about this aspect of it ever. She was a twin.
You know what? I'm done. Because
that just dawned on me.
And it just blew me because I have twins in my life, and they want to know what each other having for lunch every day across the city in the same building, and they can't go a day without each other.
Right.
So
that aspect of disconnection from everybody and everything in your life is something that is so very scary to me.
And me too. And my situation with my friend only happened, or this young lady I know, because I can't say that we were friends. She's a little younger than me. And so I graduated before her, but we went to the same high school. But her story is so resonant with me because first of all, it just is because of who I am. But it's like.
But tell her story. People don't know why it is that you're having such a difficult time.
Let me be honest. Part of the difficulty is trying to be as private and anonymous as I can and respectful to the whole situation. But also, if you know me and if you rock with me like that, part of what I do for real is real journalism. I'm really here for real information. So I'm going to be as private as I can about the specifics. But I know someone who took her life that I went to school with, younger than me, like I said, and for whatever reason, decided that this wasn't the place for her anymore. And whether she had that circle or that friend or that trust or whatever, kind of like what relates to your situation with your friend, you don't know what it is that could potentially take somebody out. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what can be said that can save somebody from taking themselves out. You don't know what can be done. You don't know what phone call, what text, what drop in, what breakfast will really help somebody, particularly a single mother, because we've taught these women not to say nothing. Mm-hmm. You got to be so strong and silent and keep it to yourself and don't let a tear shed and you got this and you don't need this and you don't need. That's so destructive, and we know that, but we're not giving women the opportunity to express it or the space or the time, the attention, and the support, because at the end of the day, once I hear you, sis, I got to help you. Hearing is really just not enough. And part of what Empress Iris
that's you heard all types of things I threw on that girl.
I did, but I was gonna let you go with it.
You need to get me together right in the moment.
Sometime, but you know what?
Don't let me too far off the leash.
Well, see, I didn't. But we need to talk because we need to be heard, and then we need to help. Like I said, at the end of the day, hearing is great, and let's start with that. But we can help each other, and we do, but we can't, help a situation we don't know about. And I want to take some of the weight off of it because, like I said, them 6 days of me sitting in the house with that boy drove me berserk. But that's nothing compared to what I know other people go through. And and I'm not even making my situation, I am, because that's me, right? Oh, terrible. But there's really people dealing with terrible, though. And we need to talk about it. So, I don't know the specifics of this young lady's situation other than, even when it comes to your celebrities, your Robin Williams, how are you that known? And his anniversary of his passing just came up on his birthday, something, don't quote me. But, no matter who you are, where you are in life, you can get to a point where you're alone and you don't tell anybody about your pregnancy or your depression or your husband did or whatever your situation is. And we have to get past that. Particularly as Black people, as Christians, our self-identify. We don't do therapy. We don't do all that. All we're going to do is pray and tell the church people in silence and secrecy, and everybody tell each other anyway. But we got to do better, and we can start here and now doing better. So if you want to go ahead to some of the comments, I know I couldn't.
I just need to send a shout out to Aprella. If I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, please forgive me. I do.
That's the third reason why I love you.
But Miss Bullock. I can pronounce Miss Bullock.
Hey, Miss Bullock.
First of all, my condolences on your mom. The comment, I came at it live on my phone, so I can't get back to the comment. It's probably up there, but you raising your kids in spite of your circumstances is absolutely amazing. If you want to know what I'm talking about, go scroll back through the comments. And I thank you for tuning in. It's the first time watching ImRealDvs, so I thank you for tuning in. I'm not sure how you came by the show, but thank you for coming by the show.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining into the conversation in the comments. And share the video. Yes. Ativa Page, who is going to be a guest on the show.
Ativa.
said,
I don't know.
she said, Atiba, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but they I guess they can infer it from your comment. Her comment is, I saw so many single moms and dads at chemotherapy rushing home after treatment. Now, why isn't there somebody to help? Now, in some instances, there's some people who just don't have anyone. I met this woman in the course of the summer. She was all the way from Eritrea. If you don't know where that is, pull out your atlas. It's in Africa. It's a country in Africa.
I'm like, that's over there with 18th Avenue. We were just talking about Eritrea. I got a second cousin named Eritrea. She's from Philly, though.
Oh,
you said what part of Africa?
Now y'all see why she is. But yeah,
what part of Africa?
Eritrea.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and she was here. She has a couple of young children. They're all very young, like just about to start school. One of them is still in Pampers. And this woman doesn't have, she's here by herself with her husband. I think her husband was working all day. And a friend of mine who was running a daycare during the summer saw her and knew that the woman was exhausted. She was in school and everything. And because my friend was running the daycare, she's like, there's a bunch of kids I hate anyway. Leave them here. Go get a nap or go do shopping or go take a bath or shower. Whatever it is that you need to do to go take care of yourself. Yeah, I'm telling on you, Misha.
How much of a blessing.
Yeah.
No, for real.
That's why I'm saying this. Because we need other people to jump in and do that every now and then.
It's so easy. And you know
for an hour or two.
Let me tell you something.
Give them a rest for an hour or two.
And because I had that, I'm so blessed and grateful. And it's not just helpful to me because it relieves stress off of me. Mm-hmm. But it also makes it easier for my son because he don't got to deal with the me that's at 19, right? But I have an aunt that anytime, I have people in my life anytime, bring them here, come by, if we could both go, whatever. I know what it's like to have that and still be kind of frazzled. I can't imagine not having it. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's just, and when you say, you know, you got the moms and dads rushing home from chemotherapy to be there for the kids or the family, I'm picking my little 6 days right up and putting them back in my pocket because I'm just tired because I got a little ear infection. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I don't even know. But we need to share, like you said, that information and that support because you don't know who just came home from physical chemotherapy and they sitting next to you in PTA. You don't even know.
How about that? How about in traffic when you blowing your horn at somebody who's sitting there at the light and maybe they just needed that extra breath from chemo?
Jesus, I can't. I'm out.
Pause. How about the neuropathy that could be going down their leg and they couldn't get their leg to wake up off the brake?
Let me tell you
real
something.
Quick. And if they had thrown it on the gas, they might have put the car out of control.
Let me tell you a real story.
Please tell us.
And this young lady is not a single mother, but she is a woman and I love her to death. Real good friend of mine. I would say she just turned 34. She's been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis for 10 years. Mm-hmm. She's younger than me. I'm 40 years old. And there are days when she has to Uber or Lyft to work, has a perfectly fine vehicle, but she can't get her legs to move to drive her own car. Mm-hmm. I don't know that life.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it with the kid on. And I could imagine
if you had a kid
having to get Christian to school and I can't get my leg on the floor. What?
Listen.
It's too bad.
First of all, before I get into what I'm about to say, let me read these comments because I don't want them to disappear. Aplila, I hope that I'm pronouncing that. She put it in here phonetically. It said long E. I love that. But from Wanda Still Waters, it's difficult to trust most times. Being honest is more difficult for some. You would think they are one of the same. It is not.
Definitely not.
It's difficult to trust most times. Being honest is more difficult. Absolutely. There are a couple of different things. You really got to know which one it is you can do with somebody. There's some people that you could be honest with, but you can't trust them with such and such and such.
The selective part I have was saying, you feel me?
There's a word that I love. It's called rubricizing. That means to take things and put them in different compartments and organize them together. Mm-hmm. I rubricize the fuck out of my friends. I know who I can say what to, who I can't, who can handle this, who identifies with this part of what I'm going through, and who identifies with this part of what I'm going through. Because everybody, me saying it to you and you have no concept of what it is I'm talking about is an exercise of futility on my part. If I'm talking, it's because I need assistance. It's because I need help or I need feedback. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm not one of those people who just pour out stuff just because I feel like talking. That's not me. I'm talking for a purpose because People pay me to talk.
Come through. People pay me. Sorry.
Did you get that? Do I need to say it again slower?
Don't need to move.
People pay me to talk. So I know the value of my words and my time. So if I'm talking to you and I'm saying something, please listen. Because chances are I'm not going to say it twice. But one thing for certain and two things for sure, you needed to hear it.
Sure.
Okay? But anyway, I'm going to get off this soapbox 2 seconds. There's help out there for individuals going through many of the illnesses. Dorothea Irvington, that's my other mama. And you're absolutely, because she's going through cancer. She went through a couple of rounds of the chemo and everything like that. And she had to avail herself of the services like getting the rides to chemotherapy. So if your husband or your girlfriend or your whomever can't take you, or maybe they need a break because they're taking care of you.
Come on,
you got to think of this.
Come on,
Goddess. Yeah, let's do this. So if they need a break from being there for you, there are services available, but somebody got to look for them. They're not going to knock on your door. Hi, I'm services. That's not always how it works. You have to make it work for you. You really, really do. But when people are going through things like this, there's a comedian, I forget his name, but if I say this word, y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. It would behoove you.
Oh.
Boom. It would behoove you.
Did you want to mention him?
I don't know his name.
I know it. That doesn't sound enough. You want to promote him.
No, that's cool. I don't know him personally or anything, but he's funny and I get something out of it, so I don't mind.
He's so
it's cool. And me mentioning him ain't going to take nothing away from me.
Come through.
So,
you pay him to talk to though. So that's dope.
Mm-hmm. But yes, you have to take your thinking just a little bit further when it comes to that, because it's all about self-care. At the end of the day, you're trying to make sure that you have what it takes to get through this day so that tomorrow ain't going to be that much of a burden on you.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Or that much of a burden on the kid, because
with the kid,
what we
your
fail
family,
to realize is that
everybody in your household or who's close to you
is affected by the energy, be it high energy, low energy, good energy, bad energy, whatever your energy is, everybody's getting swirled into it regardless. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not good and I'm not right and I'm snapping and I keep saying, Christian, this heat on my nerve. The boy is the boy that he been, and he's 6 years old. It's not him. He didn't. He's not. Trust me, it ain't the child. It's me. I'm on 7. I'm on 10 because this happened or that happened, or I'm just tired, or I'm not eating right, or I'm hungry, or there could be a variety of things going on with me that will transfer to my son, and they don't have to. They shouldn't. That's how you break generational curses. You try to keep
listen, because y'all know that's where I was last week with this. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Breaking generational curses, that should be the epitome of what it is that you want to do in your life when you decide to bring another life into this planet.
Before you even.
How about that?
That's what you got to be.
When you are considering that decision on whether you should create another person, a lot of y'all do it by accident, and that's a whole other show.
Come on, but let me just jump in right there, Taylor, because you know what? And again, we're going to talk about my business because I'm the best person to tell it. I'm lesbian. Everybody knows that. And I'm planning to have another child like a fool by this time next year. I'm not pregnant now, but it's planning, not only because I'm in a unique situation to be able to do so, but even as a person who I am in general, it would be my desire not to have an accidental child if I didn't have to. For a variety of reasons. And I'm not saying nothing about nothing. Email me if you want to. But people of wealth, power, and stature plan their families, not just their children, their spouses, their kids, their generations, their empires and legacies. They think about those things ahead of time. That's why you have things like arranged marriage, or even if you go back to Africa, Peru, where we come from, courting, the ritual of courting. You know, people can't just come up and be your boyfriend in Africa or be your husband. You got to bring something. Your family has to know that when you leave that unit, you can be supported and that you'll be beneficial to whoever. Don't get me started. Speaking of another show. But like I said, as a lesbian, I get to select so much about my child, and I have to do it intentionally. I have to do it beforehand.
Right. From
who his father is, or I always say it's like boys. But you have to plan.
Because random sex for her ain't going to result in a pregnancy.
You say so.
Random sex for me ain't gonna result in sex.
Research shows I'm gonna be all right.
Boom.
But
so
when I did decide the first time to have a child, and this time I'm deciding now, I have to be selective. and intentional, because I know I'm raising a king. I like to say it, but I also mean it. I have to be able to pour certain things into this child, have the energy. Now listen, I'm not gonna try to tell y'all that it's my desire at 40 or 41 to be running behind no kid. That's not what I'm here for. I'll pay for memberships. You'll get the best YMCA in the world. You'll be educated at the museum week, people trips and all of that. That's what I'm here for. Again, enriching life involves so many activities, but it's hard. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, even just physically running around from swim camp to karate lessons on $7 worth of gas.
Right.
Who got it?
Right.
I don't have the energy in my body, much less the gas in my tank to be going to another thing that you want, and then I gotta buy you something to eat after that. That's real.
Depending on your tank, $7 only 2 gallons.
First of all, 2.3, mind your business. Okay, and that big old Xterra. So my point is, it's so hard, especially when you do it intentionally, when you know what you have to put into a child, into a family. And I say child because I only have a child. I'm not in a relationship. I'm single. So I don't even contribute to a household. I couldn't imagine it's supposed to be somebody's wife and I can't hardly put real shoes on.
How about that?
All I want is flip flops. Mm-hmm. I wear the socks if they had treads on the bottom, but you know, because it's like that sometimes. Sometimes, devious, all I can do in the morning, and it's not often, but sometimes all I can do is put on them sweatpants from yesterday and take the boy down the street to the school. Mm-hmm. Sometimes driving the truck seems like an easier way because it's 2 blocks. And sometimes just walking is easier. But either way, sometimes it might as well be the Underground Railroad because I just can't do it. You might as well be traveling north. Let me tell you something.
From the school I went to when I was young.
Go on, Talladega?
Talladega, yeah, you gotta say it like that too.
So yeah, it's to say like how?
Talladega. Yeah, you barely move your mouth Talladega.
That's what I had to look again.
Yeah, because I didn't move my lips.
I heard it, but you didn't say it.
It's a whole thing, Talladega. You gotta be able to do it without moving Talladega. If you can do it like that, you say it right. But anyway. What you're saying is something that you really have to consider. Like, what's funny to me is people talk about gays and lesbians wanting to have children, but we don't have them by accident like y'all. Like, we're not just out here. Like, okay, we were over in the seminar thing with the energy conservation people who were talking about ways to conserve energy and how you need to conserve energy because global warming is a real thing. I know that this is a little bit sidebar, but we, just to get on to what we were talking about. So what the guy said was, you have to consider, all of the global warming situation because of the amount of people. Did you follow what I'm saying? You heard me? Because of the amount of people, all the energy that you're going to need to power your cell phones, to power your laptops. How about just to turn on the light in a room? All that energy contributes to global warming. And of course, all of that contributes to all of the situations that we have here today. So not making people by accident reduces that number, reduces the amount that we're going to have to pay for energy. It reduces the amount of energy that we consume. It reduces the amount of stress on the planet. It reduces a whole bunch of shit. If you just like don't have people by accident.
Science, sorcery type of stuff.
No, this is.
We may not agree with some of the ways that some other countries have taken to address their population issues.
They see the writing on the wall. If you don't address it now, it will address you later.
Come through.
And that's really kind of all I have to say, but I'm not going to even stand on that soapbox no more. Y'all get it. Because y'all been out here doing it for a long time. You had people by accident. And this is the part that...
Does it behoove you?
I was going to say that.
I saw it. It came all the way out.
It was.
I saw it in the ether.
But I want that word out of my head, like for real, because he uses it so incorrectly.
It's so hard, but it's funny. That's the funny part.
So he like the most obtuse meanings you could possibly gather. But anyway, in our neighborhoods, there's this whole thing with the legislation and the monies, or whether there should be monies or whether there shouldn't be monies for Planned Parenthood. In our neighborhoods, we're talking about whether they should be here. Some people are like, oh, they're taking money from Planned Parenthood. They're trying to take it out of the hood because they have an agenda against the Black community. And other people say the exact opposite, but with the same rationale. Oh, they have Planned Parenthood in the Black community because they have an agenda and they want abortions. They want genocide. Right. They want to kill all of the Black people.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? If you planned your families, nobody else would have to.
All right.
When you plan your families, you can plan things like who's going to watch the kids while I'm going to work? Who's going to take them to activities after school if I get sick? I asked the single, like, fuck it. I asked my sister one time, my baby sister, and I love my baby. Anybody who knows me knows I love my baby sister, and I love all my sisters and brothers' children, all 28 of them. Yeah, between all of them, they have a couple of teams. They could the mother side could play the father side on whatever. But so I asked my sister one time, I said, what do you have in place if something should happen to you? Like because my youngest sister has 6 children. My oldest sister has 5 children, and she married a man. I think he has 2, so that makes them the Brady Bunch plus 1. And my sister, who's right over me, because I have 3 sisters living, has 8 children. So then I got brothers, and they have kids. That's the situation. So if any of my sisters, of course, if something happens to any of my sisters' kids, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to get I'm gonna round them up like it's a rodeo. If all y'all got to sleep in the living room, all y'all got to sleep in the living room. But that's not the point. Is I asked my sister, I said, what would you do? What, like, if something happened to you, who's gonna take all of your children? Have you thought about that? And she said, I really haven't thought about it. Now I get, as a parent, that's not something that you want to consider. But it's something that you might need to consider. It's not an easy thing. Just like my friend that just passed, his mother didn't want to talk about his funeral for the most part. And I get it. Like I said, she's younger than me. Who wants to talk about burying their kid? But we're also talking about the inevitabilities of the human condition. There's nobody who gets out of this life alive. If it is, holla at me and come show me how to do that. I would really love to know. But nobody gets out of here alive. So everything that is happening, you should really think about putting it in place on purpose. If you have children, plan who's going to be in their life on purpose. To the best of your ability, because there are some things that you just don't have control over. Sometimes the relationship doesn't work out. Sometimes somebody dies. Sometimes something happens many times things happen that are just so far beyond your control, there's nothing you can do. But these are things that you do need to consider because you may start off even if you plan your kid, your family, if you plan your parenthood, the relationship may change. Somebody in a relationship might change their mind. And even if their mind don't change, maybe their feelings do. So who's going to pick up the pieces once you've created? You didn't just bring an outsider in to your situation like a side chick. You created a whole other human being to bring into the situation, either accidentally or on purpose. You brought a whole other person into this situation. So now what are you going to do with this person if the other person who helped you create this person changes their mind or changes their feelings? There's still a lot to do. The kid needs to go to school. The kid's going to need to go here. The kid's going to need to go to doctor's appointments. You're going to have to learn to trust somebody for something. You have to build your village now. If you are childbearing age and are thinking about having children and you come across this video, start planning your village. Last week, find my show from last week. Last week, I talked about how you friend, bringing people into your life on purpose and stuff like that. Some of the stuff that we covered here too, but in a different context on the last show. Watch that show and then watch this show. How do you friend? Because everything that you bring into your life, you're going to bring into your kid's life. So make sure that everything that is in your life is good and going the way that you want it to. And that will translate into your kids. You won't have to scramble for babysitters. You won't have to scramble for good examples. You won't have to scramble for a man in their life, even if something happens to the father of the kid. If you're creating good relationships with other men, you don't have to sleep with them to create them. I'm going to just say that and leave it. But if you're creating other relationships with men who are worthy, with men who are worthy, your definition of worthy for whatever it is you need in your life, not anybody else's, yours. If you deem that man worthy to be in your life, they could be worthy to be in your kid's life. Real quick, Aplila says, my daughter doesn't like that I feel so comfortable talking about it, but you're not afraid of the inevitable. You can't be. Dorothea said it happens, and this is the best medicine for you. This is the best medicine for you talking about your child, the child you lost. Life goes on. God bless all parents who bury their children. Aplila says, my daughter doesn't like it that she feels so uncomfortable. Yeah, she never had kids because I didn't. Atiba Page, this is why I love you. We're gonna bring you back on here. Hey, Vicky, congratulations again, Vicky. This is what Atiba says, and this is exactly what we're talking about. Atiba said, "I never had kids because I didn't have a solid plan."
Mercy, but that's good and it's bad because if it is your desire to have kids, then I want that for you. But I appreciate you being proactive and knowing that you need a plan, not just for them, but for you and for us. Because at the end of the day, I understand and have done so before I even had my son. I understand that he is going to be a product of the universe. So it's not just my kid. It's not just my influence. It's not just, who I'm putting in the world. I got to be putting some type of quality substance, into this person because he's not just mine.
Right.
He doesn't just belong to my family. He's going to encounter people. He's going to need to be, somebody. So it takes a lot.
We're going to part 2 this.
Oh, absolutely.
We're going to part 2 this.
And we'll have Empress Iris.
Yes, we will. Oh my gosh. Y'all are going to love. Yeah, well, you can look on YouTube. Share this video, please. If you have come across this video and you like what you are hearing and you want to get to the second part, share the video. If you belong to some groups that you think might enjoy this video, share the video. If you belong to some groups where you think this might be appreciated, share the video. And if none of that is present, share it on your
And that's what I was going to say too. If you don't like what you're hearing, if you feel like we're over exaggerating and it's not that and this and that, please share it. Because I'm going to be honest, you don't know who needs it. And it's not just for you whether you like it or not, whether you believe in it or not. And at the end of the day, you might know somebody like, oh yeah, sis needs to hear this, or sis needs to see that because she needs to know that somebody knows and understands and feels where you coming from, sis. Like, for real. Like $7 gang, like that's so big because it could be $7 for snacks for the week or that. Like I know what it's like for real. It's tough.
Last but not least, how many of you have a Costco card that you could share with another mother who might have more kids than you? Maybe you got 2 and maybe she got 4 and she doesn't have a Costco card.
Just one more is too many.
Y'all, you got the minivan, like pick this up. Look, I'm going to get ready to go to Costco.
We'll pick up the animal crackers.
Whenever you're ready to go, holla at me. You can use my car. Listen, we got to do this with each other because what's going to happen is we're going to find that the price that we're paying for being individuals is too much. The price that we pay for our independence as a person sometimes is a little too much. You can surrender some of it. There are more than 7 billion people on this planet. That alone tells you you're not meant to do this shit alone. Take the hint. I'm going to read these last few comments. We're going to get out of here. What's up to Sweetness Jones in the room? Atiba says, I'm not afraid, but everyone I love is here. That's where fear comes. That's where fear comes in for me. However, God has a plan. Waters, Wanda, still, you keep living, keep providing. I lost my kid's dad when they were young by accident. You live on purpose. I know that's right, Wanda. My family is small. I don't use them. Amen. Surrender.
Live on purpose. I love that.
And it was one more.
And that's part of the reason why people like me because I live on purpose. Even when it comes to my son, I'm intentional.
Oh, and Atiba said, amen. Product of the universe. Yeah. Won't he do it? So with that, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Again, we're going to part 2 of this. We're going to come back and get some more bullet points on if you on the point of single motherhood. And I know that it seems like we kind of went all over the place, but we actually didn't. We stayed very much on topic because all of this has to do with raising kids, with raising a healthy individual.
Person.
Right. You have to be able to, and that's something that you need to do on purpose. Don't let it be a fly by the night, seat of the pants accident that you raised a responsible member of society. Don't let that be. Don't let it be just so, they got scared of the cops. They were more afraid of cops than you. And that's the only reason that little Rara ain't go to jail. That shouldn't be the case. Teach your kids, anybody in your life actually, to live on purpose, not by accident. To don't say nothing unless they can bring it into fruition, and that anything that you say can be brought into fruition. Don't have families by accident. Don't let your kids think that, you was banging one night and all of a sudden that's what happened and you just grinned and bared it. Nobody wants to believe that that's how they came here, by accident, unloved, unplanned, without a second thought.
On
Nobody
the way
wants to
out,
believe
I'll
that.
tell you how important that is.
Yeah. Nobody wants to believe that. So what I'm going to do is say what's up. Thank you guys. Share the video. I'm going to let Joy take us out with this last story.
Thank you again for watching, tuning in, sharing. On the way out of the room, I want to share part of my story again. I'm gay. I have a kid. He's 6. It was so important to select his dad and do things properly beforehand, because I understood that his story would be more important than mine. The story about how he came here was important to me. Mm-hmm. I know people who do in vitro and they do all type of alternative methods to attain pregnancies in lesbian relationships, and that's fine. For me, it was important that my story include as natural a process as possible for my son, because mm-hmm. again, it's not just my story. It's not just, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Mommy ordered me from Amazon and then we went by the hospital and then the doctor that doesn't have to be his story, because that's my life. His story, my son is so blessed to, again, have intentionally been conceived in love, with permission, ahead of time, not accidentally, planned. I knew his dad's, first of all, middle name, family, history, knew what people look like, knew what medical conditions they suffer from. And I knew that I was having a child with a good dude. When I tell you it sounds so crazy, but it was so important. It has proven to be so in my son's life and as mine as well, because the dude's around. And my son knows his father and his family, and he's not going to run into an accidental cousin or something. And for his story moving forward, because he's the universe's child, it just was so important. So mm-hmm. It's so important to be intentional in a lot of things that you do, but we have to pay more attention to be intentional about our children. We can and we will.
Absolutely. Your kids don't have to have the same generational trauma and scars that you had. We don't have to perpetuate that. And we're not. All right? And if you think that you're gonna do that after watching this show, you fooling your damn self. We out of here. ImRealDvs.
Just Joy, you already.
And this is ImRealDvs. Share the video. Don't make me come looking for you.
Don't make us come looking for you.
Because it can really, really happen. Share the video, like, comment. Oh, the email address, if you have any show ideas that you want us to get on here and talk about, dvsemod@gmail.com. Ebony, I hope that you're still in the room. That's my new moderator. She, in the situation. So dvsemod, all one word, @gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, show ideas, you want to share anything with us, you want to let us know about the show, if it was good, if it sucked, let us know. dvsemod@gmail.com. Hit us right there in the e-box. Hit us in the email box.
In the e-box, yes.
It's the e-box now.
Hit us in the e-box.
That's what's gonna be from now on. Hit us in the e-box. All right. So we just added. We just added. We out of here. Just Joy, DVSMI. This is ImRealDvs. We'll see you next Tuesday right here at 7 p.m. So, baby, yeah,
I'm just out of here.
Yeah, we almost out of here, y'all. Bear with us. All right, peace.